live.
Live and go.
I don't know why.
I need to make a tweet myself.
Oh, well, I mean, we don't.
No, I know. It's fine.
When have we ever started immediately? I made a tweet, so go.
I wasn't actually complaining.
I just made
You want to see this?
What do we
I
got?
don't think you saw this one. I like it. Here.
What is it?
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
It's just another day at the office.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I got two requests. One's we scoot this toward us,
Well, we're going to do that.
and the other is Audacity.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that as well.
Okay.
Ooh.
Having this right here makes maximum uncomfortability for me.
Oh, yeah.
What I want.
I'm joining you in a sitting position, though.
You won't be there forever.
Solidarity for the start of the show.
Let's see. So you made a tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a tweet out there.
I'm gonna go give it a look. See.
So sometimes I'm really juvenile and I laugh at things for being in a foreign language.
Oh,
That still happens.
that's fun.
And I laughed at this one because the name of this is in English, you'll notice.
Microsoft Advantage.
And then it just says that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny.
Zukunft's vision.
Yeah. Bill Gates, Zukunftsvision.
Bill Gates should come to attention.
That's right.
Yeah.
A beep, 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 beep.
Daytona.
All right, is that what we got? Is that it? Are we here? We got a viewer.
Woo!
I'm going to fire it up on this computer just so we can see the number of viewbos.
Ebos.
Yeah, viewbos is what they call them in the industry. I'm trying to learn industry terms. The podcast industry. Let me move this Myco. Every time I mute the microphone during a stream so that I can move the microphone,
Yes.
I immediately get a reply in my Twitch chat. Like I get a Twitch chat message that says, "Oh, your microphone sound cut out." It's like, man, I muted it so I could move it. And then every time I move it without doing that, somebody goes, "Oh my God, the sound of that moving! Oh my God!" It's like, man,
Yep.
you can't win either way. Also, another thing is I got the
The only way to
bad
win is not to play what?
Wi-Fi. I get the bad Wi-Fi's here, so when I try to stream a game and it cuts off, I just immediately get a bunch of messages in the chat. Oh, stream cut off. Like, man, I know it makes a big loud sound. Makes this big, loud, horrible sound. Yeah, it goes.
Like that?
This terrible Windows 8 sound. Just this big old plunking gross sound.
I'm going to go shut the door.
Yeah, go
The
for
old
it.
door. And I'm gonna go open the rest of that window.
Yeah, just get it.
I thought it was that's Winder.
Winder?
You can push it to either side. Oh, I guess you can. Yeah, I put those clips on there to keep it shut.
I don't want to ruin this.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to take those clips off.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to do.
Not ever going to take those clips off. Not ever going to get those clips off. There's no way to get them off. Oh, babe.
Ooh!
What would you clip your gits off?
I would get all the clippers.
I gotta
That's my
remember
favorite
what. I gotta remember my questions. Hey,
I got your questions right here.
I know we shouldn't be starting
Starting one.
discussing things before we start, but shall we? Should we like go in an order, or should we have two of each from each? Or what do you think?
I would say we just go around, go in a good round robin. I'd say.
And then I think the evergreens are just at the end.
Yeah.
I sure don't.
Or you
know
want to
that-
pepper them through? You know what we could do?
We could start with.
I'll tell you what we could do.
Well, I had a format in mind where we start
Cool.
with the news. Right.
Okay, I better
And
read
then-
the news really quick.
Yeah, and then the IQ test question is at the end.
Yeah.
And the IQ test question and the list question are at the end.
Okay, that's fine.
You know what I really wanted to do before I left Gama Sutra, but we never did it?
What's that?
I wanted a tag that was like, this is actual news.
Oh, the actual news.
You know,
tag.
so like you could just read the news and not read like, look how much money I made on my mobile game.
I don't think they would want that though.
But it's a separate tag. Like that wouldn't affect anything.
Yeah,
No one fought it.
I guess that's what like exclusive sort of does.
No, exclusive
Sort of.
says that there's some level
Oh, no,
of
that's
recording.
The Game Suit exclusive.
Game Sutra.
Game Sutra.
Game Sutra.
I honestly don't know where to go for game news anymore. I just have no idea.
I don't know, you kind of got to absorb it. Unfortunately, the only news that I really know of right now is all terrible stuff about people talking crap
Yeah,
about
I'd
each other.
really rather not talk about
Yeah,
that.
me too.
Yeah.
Can we all agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about terrible crap.
For those of you looking at us right now, we haven't exactly
We haven't started, no.
Haven't exactly started, so don't get too dissuaded. We'll be here pretty soon doing our thing, though.
Yeah, I think we'll be getting started pretty much right away.
Here.
I think it's the only like quote unquote news I know about.
Oh, is it? Well, here's what we can do. We can always just go to.
I'm on Kotaku right now.
Oh, the KTK.
Kotax. I mean, it does seem to be all over.
None of you
Oh, that
know?
stuff is all over.
Yeah,
God darn stuff.
I hate that stuff.
Story about it.
Japanese hitmaker.
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 I remember them. They were all right.
Report: Ouya ties up with China's #1 smartphone maker.
Well,
Oh, with
Who is
Xiaomi.
that? who is China's #1 smartphone maker?
Xiaomi, apparently. I thought it was Huawei.
How many? I think there's like 20 of them that are all probably the same company.
Yeah.
That one of them happens to be #1, and the rest are.
I guess it's just what particular day
I bought a
we're talking about.
webcam here from China's #1 webcam maker. This one that we're using. That's a joke. It's just a generic webcam.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just start and we'll try our best with the news and
Yeah, I
then
suppose
we'll
we
move
should get
on from
going.
there.
Can we get a couple minutes here?
Minutes.
Couple minutes.
Minutes.
I'm really trying to find some news.
I thought of a short news that's not very newsworthy, but it's a game that came out. So
Yeah, it's just
that
something
helps.
that happened in the last week.
There's one thing that I got in my brain.
Yeah, what's going on in video games this week?
Video games. Thunkety thunk thunk.
Something newsy that I had as a question, so that's gone.
Yeah. No, you can use. Oh well. Yeah. We can use that as a question.
I think it's its own question.
Yeah.
Yep, we got 15,000 viewers right now.
Whoa.
Oh, hey guys. How y'all doing? Some of them are probably not guys.
Rules are that you multiply it by 1,000.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're still.
There's really no actual news that happened,
Nah.
unfortunately.
We're still getting ready, y'all.
Yeah, we're still kicking.
Oh well, there's
Oh yeah, there's that, and then there's that other game that I just thought of. So that's two. That's two things. Two things. Also, Oculus added to Facebook's bug bounty program.
what?
Bug hounding.
Facebook bug bounty. God darn. Facebook pays people bounties to report bugs with the site, and has now added Oculus to the program.
Oh wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what is that Oculus?
Okay,
That's
there's
like a.
really no news that happened. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
You're ready?
Did you start Audacity over there at one point?
I actually started it a lot sooner than I should have.
That's okay.
It's okay. Oh, there's
Then you
another
can fix
one.
it.
That's good news. This was the only positive thing all week. For
Oh
me.
yeah, that's true. Okay,
Okay.
that's good.
All right, we got some stuff.
All right. We got 2 games and an event.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see the event. Give me the event first. That's a joke. Well, I'm fixing the camera now. I guess that's good.
It's good enough.
By which it sucks. Look at the frame rate on this camera. It's terrible. This crappy Microsoft one that is all staticky and weird at least gets like 60 FPS.
Well,
Whereas this one is like
let's
using a-
just move
it's like-
our mouths
it's like using a Chinese smartphone.
slowly.
All right, so it's what, episode 96 of the Insert
Episode
Credit?
96.
The Insert Credit
The Insert Credit Show. Episode 96 of the Insert Credit Show.
Insert Credit radio drama.
Insert credit audio experience.
Let's just call it the Insert Credit Show because there's radio shows that they just call shows. They don't call them radio shows. And then when we stream a game, we can just call it the Insert Credit game stream.
That's true. I
The
do.
insert
You know,
credit stream.
I don't listen to podcasts, but I listen to Radiolab in podcast form. Radiolab is a radio show,
Yeah.
and yet every time I hear the podcast, I go, "Welcome to Radiolab," and then Robert Kolich goes, "The podcast." So I don't know if they make a separate intro for the podcast version or what. If anyone knows, post on the Insert Credit Facebook right now.
Yeah, we need to know.
I gotta
It's very
say that's
important.
weird as heck.
Yeah.
But,
So,
you know, what are you gonna do?
So he's Tim Rogers. I'm Brandon Sheffield. That's Frank Cifaldi.
That's
Yeah, I'm
true.
Tim Rogers.
I'm Frank Spaldi.
Yeah. And so we're going to start with the news, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we try to do this every week now, right?
Yeah.
We try to discuss the week's news.
Yeah, the news can be, when we say news, it can be video game news that is whatever. It can be newly released games. It can be games that we played this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It can be games, stuff that's happening in our jobs with games. I don't know.
So we got
Sure.
that. We got that. Well, you want to talk about the Swing Copter?
Oh, yeah. So the follow-up game from the author of Flappy Bird, whose name...
He's an author now.
Don
Yeah.
Nguyen.
Dong Nguyen. Came out. It's called Swingcopter or Swingcopters.
I think it's
Swingcopters.
is
Swing-
it?
It's got multiple copters.
Multiple copters.
There's
I
only
mean,
one copter in the game, though.
Well, I don't know
Oh, you haven't
because
unlocked the others?
he keeps dying.
That's true.
I think there's quite a lot of them.
You haven't unlocked the other copters?
No.
That's a joke.
I
I
know.
haven't either.
I know.
But I think there's
Um,
probably a million of them.
So this game is, I guess, the sort of headline shortcut would be to say that Swingcopters is a vertical Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
Verticlappy Bird.
Verticlappy Bird.
Fruity Bird.
It's a game about swinging direction midair with one button, as
Yeah.
opposed to flapping up and down as you would in Flappy Bird. A lot more difficult, I'd say, than Flappy Bird. My high score is 2.
Yeah, it's really tough. I got to 2 as well, but I almost got to that 3. But Chris Bell, who was a designer on Journey and
Joe Ernie.
and now works at Giant Sparrow, those who made the Unfinished Swan. Never
Mhm.
finished it. Hopefully he'll get there and finish a game with them.
He's going to be the one to finish.
He's going to be the
one.
one to finish that Swan.
Well,
Uh,
sparrows can't give birth to swans.
No, they can't.
Yeah,
So it's just partial.
yeah.
Anyway, he's got a 10. He's got a score of 10.
I got an
And
8
that's-
earlier.
You didn't get an 8. Show me.
Well, I'm not getting it now.
Oh, he's not
believe-
getting it now.
I believe that Tim got an 8.
I believe that Tim could have gotten an 8, but it's not on that phone that
It's
I'm
not.
looking at
It's
right
on- It's
now.
on the iPad.
It's on the other phone.
Well, I
It's
say
on your
that
iPad.
because-
I have 3 iPads. I
Yeah,
just want
okay.
everybody to know.
Wow.
I've beaten Ridiculous Fishing on all of them.
So here's. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. I guess the reason I got an 8 is because I made this exact game almost 2 years ago, and I never finished it. Or
I will
paused it.
actually vouch for that on air.
Yeah, and Bennett Foddy vouched for it on air as well.
Was that game called The Unfinished Swan?
The game was called The Unfinished Copters.
You see.
So yeah, I made it, and I really loved it, and McCune liked it, and Patrick Miller played it, and I sent it to Bennett Foddy.
That's the one he said was the best of your concepts, right?
No.
Oh, it was a
no.
different one?
There were a couple more I think he liked more,
Ah.
but yeah, it got me sitting there. I got real sad because I have this rule where I don't tweet before noon every day. I try to wake up at 6 a.m. and not tweet. And I looked at my phone at one point because I was in the bathroom, and what else are you going to do? And yeah, I saw a tweet from Bennett Foddy. It's like, oh, Swingcopters is just like, 108's prototype. And then Michael Bro had replied, oh, I beat that prototype. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, no. It's the one that Michael Bro is particularly proud of having beaten is what I consider my best and favorite prototype. So I just felt like shriekingly awful for about a minute because it's like that's the game me and Kerwin are going to make the second we finish Video Ball, right?
Mhm.
And I got online and I downloaded. I was like, what is Swingcopters? Why did 10 other people mention it in this Twitter? Because I'm looking through Twitter. I realized it's the new game of Flappy Bird guy. I'm freaking out. I play it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not the one that Michael Bro beat. This is
Thank goodness.
the other one. So I got on there and I'm like, and I broke my no tweets before noon rule to say no Michael Bro. That's a different.
You
one.
broke for bro.
But you
I
better
broke it for Bro.
you better hope. I mean, because he makes games pretty fast.
He makes games pretty fast.
He might be coming for that next game of yours.
He probably is, man. And as I believe I've mentioned offline but not online. I'm going to say it now. Now that Bennett Foddy has vouched for my prototype as having existed and being the exact same game. I mean, it's like pretty much exactly the same thing. There's things swinging and rotating, and you are tapping to avoid them. Now that that's a thing, I just want to say I also made Flappy Bird before Flappy Bird came out. But nobody will believe me. But that's it. But Foddy vouched for this one, so.
I'm not going to vouch for the Flappy Bird claim.
Yeah, he can't vouch for it because I didn't show it to you.
Right.
I'm going to talk about other things that happened.
Yes.
Oh, go for it.
There's a game called Desert Golf or Desert Golfing. Kind of forget which one.
Which I also made about 2 years ago.
That came out, which is from the EnviroBear 2000 creator, and it's just a golf game that I believe is endless and possibly procedurally generated. Costs 99 cents.
Oh, it's totally
and
random. Yeah.
The longer you go, it's just constantly adding to your handicap or whatever.
To your stroke count.
Stroke count, that's the
just
one.
Constantly adding up stroke count, whole number.
Yeah.
It's endless golf.
I'm on hole 108 right now. That's pretty fun. It's pretty all right.
Bennett Foddy also vouched for that, being a game I also made.
VFT.
Yeah, so I'm particularly sad about not releasing a bunch of games today.
Yeah, guess maybe you should have did it.
But I have another one that I like better. This is the problem. I have like 80-some prototypes that I think are pretty solid, and they're all mild variations on each other. And I have one that I think is better than my original Angry Birds driving range, which I called it Angry Birds driving range is what it was. But it's Desert Golf now, I guess. But I have one that is better. And I am inspired to make it. It's similar, but better and different enough that nobody will say I copied anything.
Zach Gage is doing a billiards.
Oh, God darn it.
But he's doing a perfect simulation of billiards.
Yeah.
That works well.
Yeah.
But it's not there's no ambiguation there. But yeah, he's publicly talked about it and all, and I've played it, and his uncle liked it, so that's good.
Well, there's something that's making both me and you happy, possibly make Tim happy as well.
What?
Yes, one more thing.
Like
it was the only nice thing on the internet this week, as far as I could tell, which was those two darn fish playing Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I think I don't know if that's the end of that.
No, I'm sure
sort
it's
of thing.
not.
It's probably not.
It's
but
probably not.
If it were, I really wouldn't mind.
I
still
think
it's
the
cool,
ultimate is some kind of, and I don't mean this literally when I say it, but some kind of Mad Libs-y game where fish are making choices. I think that's the ultimate end of this.
Yeah.
Where people will think that fish are sort of creating a story.
Here we go. Fish play Scribblenauts.
But I mean, that's how are you going to control that?
I mean, they might not type.
Well, you got
have to type a
you
real
got
word.
one fish that's in charge of typing, and one fish that's in charge of movement.
But how is the fish going to type words?
Keyboard.
How's the fish going
Mapped
to
to the
make
thing.
words?
By swimming around, same way.
Then just hoping that it occasionally...
And just hoping that it sometimes recognizes it as a word.
Like fish play Scribblenauts title screen.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
just check in once an hour to see if they made something.
Yeah. They'll make stuff for sure.
Yeah, if all those monkeys in that room with those typewriters could...
They made Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I think it's stupid and fun, and it also, I thought for probably the millionth time about how maybe someone could be playing that game with us.
Yeah.
We're just going about our daily lives, and we're just in some giant Twitch screen in the fifth dimension, making some kind of cosmic happenings occur.
So real fast, we playing anything? I just started playing Gargoyle's Quest for the Game Boy this morning, and I'm kind of intrigued by it.
I tried playing that a bit, and I had a hard time.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Gargoyles?
Yeah, Gargoyle's Quest.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Game Boy one?
Yeah.
Oh man, I like that game. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm just getting started. Like I literally just this morning before work loaded it up, and I'm intrigued.
Have you not played it before?
No, I've not.
It's a neat little game. I like Demon's Crest for SNES, which is the vastly expanded
I
sequel.
guess that's like part 3, right?
Yeah. I really, really like Demon's Crest.
Maybe I'll get to that.
It's a game people don't really talk about it too much.
It's true.
No, there's something about that game that makes me uncomfortable, which is I can't exactly explain it.
What, Demon's Crest?
Gargoyle's Quest.
It's a
One
downer.
played.
It's like it's a depressing.
Well,
little game.
also just the action of it. It's so floaty and strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's and I played it without having access to the manual or anything like that.
Right.
So, I'm just trying to figure out how the heck do I get on, land on anything or then jump again or do anything. Eventually I figured most of it out, but
It's a weird little jump.
yeah, it's weird. I guess we should move on to our first question because we got into
I wanted to say one tiny more
6
thing
minutes. Oh, do
about swing copters.
spring copters.
Spring copters. It is spring copters now, so that's what we're going to call it from now on. Whenever you die in swing copters, it shows you how many times you've died over the course of playing the game. Very briefly, it pops out to tell you
does
what
it?
play number it is. And I did that first in Tuffy the Corgi and the Tower of Bones, and me and Kerwin have it in our Bible for mobile games we're going to make from now on. So I didn't steal it from that guy, and I have proof that I didn't steal it. So,
Okay.
I believe that's. I wanted that to be the action button mobile game trademark. Every time you die, it tells you how many times you've played the game.
It still can be. It's pretty tough to.
He's probably going to put it in all his games.
Yeah, but
from now on.
it's pretty tough to have an idea and then not have in mobile and then not have someone else do it because they'll just do it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like that Swing Copters game was out for a couple hours before there was a clone of it right next to it on the App Store.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
came
but
up first for me.
Oh, it did?
Search, which is
Wow,
crazy.
that's amazing.
'Cause it only had like 17 reviews versus.
So how
hundreds.
did that happen?
I don't know.
Let's talk about that later. I'm going to look at
Yeah.
how did it happen because it's 7-day wait to get your
Yeah.
game on the App Store.
Yeah, who did that?
Yeah. Did he announce anything? Did he show any pictures? Did he have a
No.
prototype? No.
Actually, it was announced before it came out. I saw a video.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
There
I
you
guess
go.
that'll do
But it
it.
was only a couple days. It was like within the approval period.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Who made the clone?
Someone in China.
You know what? Game journalists, if any of you are out there listening to this,
Yeah, figure
that's
that
a
out.
good story.
That's an intensely interesting story
Yeah.
having to do with you can, believe it or not, get your app expedited.
Oh, yeah.
Get your app launched even if it crashes.
I
on
got mine
start.
expedited. It took 2 days.
All you gotta do is
Yeah.
talk to the right person.
Yep.
Why is some Chinese game cloner
Having
out of
that
a clone
ability.
farm in China? How do they have that?
Yeah.
How much money are they bringing in? I mean, Apple gets revenue share on
Yeah.
ads. And, was there a shadowy conspiracy? Check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out.
CIO.
Okay, so yeah, I guess we can.
Let's ask our questions.
Yeah.
So
start
yeah,
with you,
so
Tim.
we each prepared 2 questions this week, and then we have our evergreen questions, which are also prepared. And one of my questions has a lot to do with swing copters. So we can do it now, or we can do it later.
Let's do it now. It's
Yeah.
a segue.
All right, here it is. Let's design a 1-button, vertical scrolling iOS game that's not swing copters, and I will make it on Sunday, and I will release it on the App Store.
Okay.
I will. I mean, here's the weird thing. It took me weeks, but I know what button to click to release a game. I know how to do it. It's not that hard. I can do all the stuff. I have it all set up right here on this MacBook Air. This MacBook Air is
SmackBook.
this MacBook can make games.
Well, okay, I thought.
One button means no swiping.
one
Yeah,
button,
it's
no
just one
swiping,
touch tap.
no fine
So
control.
I thought of one immediately, but it's probably been done.
Well, it doesn't
It's
matter.
a-
We're gonna go totally blind.
It's a bullet hell
Okay.
shooter where there is a path that you can get through, and you have to. It would basically be like Super Hexagon,
Mm-hmm.
essentially, except you're not left and right. You're just every time you hit left, hit the screen, you're going left or right, and you have to maintain your trajectory in there.
Okay.
But
So
actually,
it's-
I foresee a
it's
couple
swing
problems.
coptery, right? Where you're.
Yeah,
Okay.
I foresee a couple problems there though, because it'll since we have a limited, we'll have to have a specific speed,
Mm-hmm.
or it
Yeah.
could be hold and release. But we want tap. We just want tap, right?
Yeah, just tap.
You can't hold.
Tap.
Yeah, just tap.
There can be hold. I can
Okay,
be.
because mine's holdy.
Well, if it's hold, then we can definitely hold and release to stay in one place, and then tap and hold to go the other direction a certain amount. So you can just keep adjusting yourself. It might actually be kind of fun.
God darn it.
So mine's a little simpler than that. In mine, you're a rocket ship, and you're just going straight up. And when you hold down the screen, you just tap and hold. That is your thrust. So you're kind of building up speed.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just going purely vertically on the center of the screen. But there's stuff going left to right, hazards, and you just make them goofy space hazards like satellites and little aliens and spaceships and stuff, and just have them going at different speeds. So it's just about sort of adjusting your speed and trying to make good time.
So what is the exact?
So you're scrolling?
Yeah, you're scrolling up. You said vertical scroll.
Yeah, vertical scroll. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because I want a game that I see nowadays a lot of people playing games in line at the
Yeah.
supermarkets.
well, you might remember after Ziggurat came out, I said I want something like Ziggurat.
It's vertical.
That's vertical, one button.
I made that. It's so great.
I wanted to play it in line at the supermarket. Was my
Yeah.
exact situation where I wanted to play Ziggurat.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be just a rocket ship. It might just be sort of like Flappy Birdie, right? Where it's just play until you die. It's not really a time limit thing. But the further you get into the atmosphere, the harder it gets. Because
Okay.
it's got a lot more obstacles zipping back and forth. But I'm thinking just straight line up, and all the obstacles are straight left to right.
So they're moving left and right.
They're moving left and right, and you're speeding up and
Yeah.
slowing down.
Yeah.
And you just tap a button to slow down?
No, it's just thrust and let go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just, the longer you hold, the faster it goes. But you let go and he just starts slowing down.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Okay.
All right. I've got that one. So it's obstacles that are moving left and right?
Yeah.
And you press the button to speed up. What if it was continuous acceleration and you tap to slow down, though? And like you tap multiple times, like you hammer it to slow down.
Well, I was actually thinking about a. For some reason, I thought of a space whale game. Like you get harpooned by Space Moby Dick, and then you're just trying to. Mine was moving left and right to try to hit objects that will slow you down to kind of slow your ultimate demise, because you're going to get caught on this whaling ship no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a space whale.
You're a space whale that's been harpooned, and you're trying to slow down by smashing into stuff. Kind of sad, though.
It's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
If we do that, let's just promise we don't make any Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy references.
Very easy.
within there.
I've only read maybe 20 pages of that.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
the whale's probably in the first 20 pages. So
Oh, man. I
was not a big fan of that.
I definitely wasn't a big fan of that book either.
I thought it was all right.
A lot of people love that stuff.
They do, and that's okay.
They talk about it like it's the best thing they ever heard of. So, I mean, I really love the idea of just pressing a button to thrust.
Yeah.
And the obstacles moving left and right. It was really tricky to make it fun, to make it work. Because, well, I had to have it so the obstacles are close together, and I gave it gravity so that you fall down when you're not thrusting.
Oh yeah,
So
that's absolutely what it
you're
should
thrusting
be.
up, and you're just like a little
And
triangle.
then you kind
in
of
the middle.
slowly and faster start falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually enjoy a game that was a scrolling shooter where the enemies come in specific patterns.
Yeah.
And you learn their approach. Like each enemy has its own kind of approach, and you know when to tap for them, and it's kind of a rhythm game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with this even, because the further you go, that you get different enemies that have different patterns.
Yeah, but I think it would be hard to, like, if you're just speeding up.
Yeah.
What if momentum?
What if you're also firing when you blast forward?
Like when you hold the button.
Yeah. So you're holding when you hold it down, you're thrusting up, but also firing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, in theory, shoot things down. I don't know what's preventing you from just kind of hovering there and shooting, though. Well, I guess because there's stuff beneath you.
Yeah, and they're coming side
And
to side.
there's enemies that you can't destroy or that take forever, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have to balance whether you're going to blast them or like rocket past them.
I would want to make the tap rhythm shooting game, I think, is what I would want to do myself.
Tap rhythm shooting game?
Yeah.
Is this implying that you need to be listening to sound?
Not
While playing?
necessarily. No, they would also have visual indicators, so that you would know. Like you just pretty much learn the speed of your shot, and then learn the speed of whatever the 5 enemies are, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you'd be there, and then you just go as long as possible.
All right, you got to make all this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
It's not as concrete or as solid as I'd like. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
It'd end up being like 4 or 5 things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
We could revisit it later.
Yeah, I could make it and put up a prototype
And then we could just keep revisiting this every week.
on the
maybe.
Unity web player.
You know what?
There's this
Next
one.
week, let's review your game.
Yeah, have you guys played this one?
I played that one.
Yeah.
I love this one.
I haven't played that
This is a
one.
perfect vertical scroll. It's not vertical.
For those of you who are only listening,
I'm playing one of my favorite games.
Tim is playing a game that he made.
Yeah. Not finished at all.
All
It's
right.
good and hard.
So next week we'll take a look at your game and we'll have some notes.
So do you notice the?
Make it the insert card.
Everyone can confirm I made this prototype about a year ago.
Yeah.
It has your best score and your number of deaths on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Well,
As you play.
you also did it in Tuffy, so we're aware of that.
Yeah. Well, just letting everybody know.
So next question. You want to go or shall I?
Yeah, you go.
Okay, I'll go. So every once so often I think about this awesome experience, which I may have briefly relayed on the podcast when it was called a podcast. Would that happen to me when I was in the old office, Game Developer Magazine office? Some Atari people came by to show, I believe, the Alone in the Dark, the newest Alone in the Dark. It was the first one on the 360. Maybe it's the last one they made. I'm not sure. But to make a long story short, the producer was playing through this sequence, a driving sequence that he had never beaten before, and it so happened that he beat it in front of us. And the PR person was like, we should stop this now because it's not complete. And he's like, I want to see what happens. I've never gotten to beat this before. And so he lets a cutscene play out, which has no voice and no sound, and it's the guy gets out of his car and he's talking to these 2 people. They're having an altercation visually, but we can't hear anything. And then at a certain point, he pulls up a gun to his head, but the gun is not there. His hand is just making this shape, and shoots himself in the head with this invisible gun, at which point he falls through the world, and the camera goes behind him, and we just see the world retreating. And I was like, there's no way that this game could possibly hold up to how great that was. Like, that existential moment of that was so perfect.
That was that Alone in the Dark game, right?
Yeah, that was that Alone in the Dark game. And so my question is, what are your favorite times when games have kind of subverted their own meaning through something like that, through bugs, or when you've done it yourself through some bizarre action that you were compelled to do?
Oh man, I was thinking, I wasn't sure exactly what the prompt would be, but I thought it would be fun stories about being demoed a game by a person.
Because me and you have those too.
I've got two little tiny tasty stories.
Do you want the question to be that instead?
No. I can
Okay.
come up with another one, but
All right.
This is a good topic, as good a reason as
Sure.
anyone mentioned.
Just keep.
That some dudes
Rolling.
from Atari were talking to Grasshopper about publishing a Grasshopper game, and this was when we were working on Shadows of the Darned, and they brought Alone in the Dark, and they showed it to us.
Oh yeah.
And there's the part where you open your jacket, and that's your
Yes,
inventory
yes.
UI. And I remember Suda seeing that and just kind of sitting there in silence through this whole demo as one of the people is like interpreting and translating for him. And then a couple days later, Suda kind of comes up to me and he's like, "What do you think the inventory should be like in this game we're making?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, I'm like, "Well, I mean, just a pretty good screen, people like that Resident Evil one where you kind of Tetris stuff." And he's like, "What if you like had a jacket?" So that's one story. Story number 2, this is a very brief one. I interviewed Hideo Kojima many times over the course of 2003 and 2004 for a story that Wired eventually killed because they didn't have room for it. I did like a massive sprawling interview with him. This is before everybody in the world thought he was a genius, and only people like me thought he was a funny genius. Anyway, I interviewed him a bunch of times, and I had an appointment to interview him at E3, just like to ask more questions. And I'd already interviewed him twice before that. So he's in a room, he's really hungover. It's like 9 in the morning. He's like, how's E3 going? I'm like, it's okay. And I'm like, I just played Neo Contra for like an hour. That game's awesome. Neo Contra's amazing. I played it, like, game's just hilarious. It's great. And he's like, yeah, I don't like that game. And I'm like, why not? He's like, why can't it just be side-scrolling? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's cool to have a top-down perspective. He's like, I don't know, man, it's dumb. And I'm just like, all right. And then we kept talking. So Hideo Kojima thinks Neo Contra is dumb and that it should be side-scrolling. So also all the cutscenes hugely make fun of Metal Gear Solid. So
do they?
Yeah,
That's
it's just
great.
it's so I feel like he just kind of resents the game. So that's a story.
So I don't know if this is exactly what you're asking, but the first thing that comes to my mind is just like, and this is the easy answer, I guess, but filling in the narrative blanks when your character does something really weird, like I mean, the classic example is eat chicken out of a trash can, right? I mean, that's kind of what you're getting, what you're saying. It's not quite it, but I do have a pre-release story that's sort of similar to that that our friend Chris Woodard went through.
Oh yeah.
Chris Woodard was playing an alpha version of Dreamfall, that adventure game, and he didn't realize that the voices weren't in for this one cutscene. And in the cutscene, Zoe, your character, is talking to her. I don't remember what they're called, but in this game's fiction, everyone has this companion animal robot that looks exactly like Bonsai Buddy.
Yeah.
And it's obviously inspired by Bonsai Buddy, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
And during this cutscene, they have this conversation, and I don't remember the exact story, but the Bonsai Buddy thing kind of plays back, I think, a recording that lets her know that her friend is in mortal danger, and she has to run out and save him. But he turned the subtitles off, because they were on by default because some of the voices were missing. And so when he was playing the game, everything's going normal. Then he goes home and interacts with his Bonsai Buddy, and there's like 30 seconds of the camera just very slowly like panning over their faces back and forth because they're talking to each other. And there's probably more like a minute of just silence of the camera like looking back and forth at them. And then she just runs out of the room, and then the next scene starts.
Yeah.
So that's not quite as good as yours, but that did give the game a completely different meaning than was intended.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Like, it's not exactly the same thing, but in that Eco demo where you could keep going past the point of the demo because there was actually more data in there. And
Shadow of the Colossus, you mean?
That's Shadow of the Colossus
Yeah.
is what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you ever shoot the turtles?
Then they go like flying up into the air and stuff. But in a kind of simpler way, I really liked, and this pretty much was planned, but it still felt like a narrative subversion. It was like different from my expectations, at least. Like in Fallout, when you would come across a ruined house, and Fallout 3 specifically, and you come across a lot of ruined houses, but like you find one, and there's a log there about those people's last days. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah. That
kind of stuff, and you just don't exactly expect that. But it's not exactly the thing I was talking about. But I always enjoyed when I would get just outside the world. Resident Evil 4 had a thing that was discovered where if you clip through this certain part of the fence in this one area, you could get out of the world that you're supposed to be in, and you can get out into the middle of this lake where there is an object that is actually all the objects in the level, all in the same place. It was clearly some kind of like a template spot, or like a spot off the grid that the developers had put this thing so they could drag stuff into the world.
Yeah.
But that that was all still there in one spot, like this huge treasure trove of all of the things that Leon needs. They were always just out of reach, and I like that quite a bit as well.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think my favorite might be that really stupid gimmick in the last 2 David Cage games where sometimes your character's actions are sort of analog, like opening a door.
Oh yeah.
Or like hugging your wife. It's just a really stupid mechanic, and you can make your character look really ridiculous doing it because it's like, I don't like, you're in Beyond Two Souls, which unfortunately I played for an hour. Your Ellen Page's character is driven to this party, and it's like, all right, get out of the car, go to the party, and I spent like a good long time just sort of half opening the door and then closing it and half opening it, and it's like it completely breaks this auteur vision of an interactive cinema that he has, because it's like there's no reason for that. There's no it doesn't animate any differently if you do it fast. Like it's like I would understand if you could make your character slam a door open to express frustration or something versus opening it slowly, but this is really just adjusting the speed of the film. It's like a hand crank on a projector or something.
Yeah, in a way, what I think of stuff like that, and I didn't feel any sort of opinion about this until I played The Last of Us, where there is, again, I still recommend everybody play that game. I recommend you guys play it because it's so good. But there is there's a famous moment in the game where you have to do something, and it's like you have to act as the character, and just once. It's not asking you to do it a whole bunch of times. I feel like I'd say too much if I say any more.
Is it similar to a Metal Gear 3?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah. It's it's so good. It's so post Kojima. But there are people who there was a review. Was it some newspaper? They're like, this completely breaks the game. This final part. I have to spoil this part. This last thing in the review here. I'm gonna spoil this, and it's like it ruins the game. And it's like I sat down and thought about it, and then I devoted a big section of my review to it, which is it's just kind of like this meditative, you're validating your experience with the game by your being like, am I going to be a jerk? Am I going to do this? Am I going to keep the immersion? Now that's weird and probably psychopathic as a game design mechanic, but I mean, to have it as many times as David Cage does, but the way it's like kind of positioned as an object of cuisine in The Last of Us is nice. But yeah, I played enough Heavy Rain. That game's insane.
Yeah,
it's like literally there's something wrong with the person's brain who would make that.
I would be interested in breaking those games down someday because they are insane.
I think Beyond Two Souls might be one of the more important games to look at of the last 5 years or so. The Watch Dogs being one that I also think was very important to look at. There was a part in Watch Dogs where your mission is to go to the graveyard and just visit your dead niece's grave.
Yeah.
So you go to the graveyard and there's a gravestone, and it's like you press a button like to begin the mission, and the mission is he just stands there and he looks at the grave and he's like, 13 months ago this happened. And like on her gravestone it says her birthday and the date of her death, and then it says at age 6 under it, which I'm like, I think they don't actually do that on a gravestone.
No.
And then the mission was over and I was like, well, okay. And it's like you get a phone call, it's like, come back, I've got some information for you.
Are you done with your mission?
Are you done? And then he's like, I'll be right there. And you get in. I got in my car and I started it up and I pulled the trigger to launch off, and my front tire hit a rock, and the car kind of Angry Birds physics tumbled and landed, and this is archived on my Twitch, I hope, landed exactly in an open grave. And I could not get out of the car, and I could not drive the car out of the open grave. And that was beautiful.
That's pretty good.
That was so beautiful.
That almost seems like
ties in really well
Yeah.
to this question. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
and Aria Harvey of Tale of Tales was watching the stream. She might be watching this podcast.
I would.
So hi. And she said that was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in a
Yeah,
AAA game.
That's pretty good. I almost think sometimes it's harder to fulfill the narrative. Like sometimes you can't help but subvert it through the mechanics. Like what? Speaking of The Last of Us, and then hopping over a little bit to Uncharted 3, you know, if you were to actually fulfill the narrative of that game, you would have to not kill any of the people in it.
Yeah.
To make, in order for all the cutscenes to make sense, you would have to have not killed anyone. And I don't think that's even possible. So, man, if you could act, you would have to subvert the mechanics of the game so hard to actually fulfill the narrative of that game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting. I think
That's interesting.
I think we answered that question. Frank, you want to do yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna postpone the more challenging one because that one's a little more evergreen and we might not get to it. But because are we timing this?
Yeah, we're timing.
I'm timing.
We're timing.
Okay. So this is a very simple question. Hey, did you guys see that Night Trap Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Night Trap Kickstarter.
Night Trap revamped.
Oh Lord.
There's so many things wrong with it.
I didn't. Someone explain it to me.
Okay.
This is the best way for me to learn about it.
Sure. So you're familiar with Night Trap, I'm sure.
I'm familiar with Night Trap as a really bad video game
Yeah.
that deserves no sentimentality at all.
Indeed.
Well, as a game, sure, but as a cultural relic, I think it's important and interesting.
Yeah,
It's interesting to look at a picture of it and read a 12-word blurb.
So Night
It's a snack
Trap
trap.
was a full motion video game, originally developed in the 80s, actually, for an unrealized Hasbro VCR-based game system
I love those.
called the Nemo. And they actually pumped a lot of money into this. This was, they hired quote-unquote real actors for this. It was actually filmed on 35 millimeter, the works. And it's a game I've never actually played, but the mechanic, as I understand it, is that there are these guys sort of terrorizing this house in real time, and you're monitoring security cameras in the house, bouncing between rooms, and trying to catch them in traps before they kill the
Sexy co-eds.
sexy co-eds and the little boy in the house.
I've seen a lot sexier co-eds in porn, though.
Oh
To
yeah,
be perfectly honest.
yeah. Oh come on, Dana Plato's dead. You can't say that about a dead person.
Is she dead?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I ain't one of those necrophiliacs,
So all right.
I don't
fine.
think I was being rude.
All right. So there's a Kickstarter to port this game to modern systems in HD, which a lot of people are confused by because people don't seem to understand that standard definition, as we knew it before, is actually a really crappy, small print of actual film.
Mhm.
35 millimeter film is of course not digital, but if you were to digitize it and get all the information you could off it, it'd actually be about 4000p is what I hear.
Mhm.
Maybe 8000p, I forget. So anyway, you could easily take any film, and that's why there are Blu-rays of
Old movies.
and get a much nicer, cleaner, more high-def read off it. So
Yeah.
the plan is bring this game back in HD, which is something I'm very much in support of for almost any game. Like I think we've mentioned on this podcast before, I'd like to play Donkey Kong Country with their crappy old 3D assets in high res, just because I think
That
that'd be
would be very
interesting to see.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be extremely interesting.
So this Kickstarter is being run by a lot of the guys originally involved with the project, and it's a really problematic Kickstarter.
It's a mess.
So
What's wrong with it?
several things. First of all, they're asking $330,000, which is a lot of money, but is
God, I wish I had
probably
that much.
probably not enough for what they're actually promising. So for $330,000, they're making versions for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC, and Mac, and every one of them is being distributed on a disc, according to them. So automatically, I think they've spent their $330,000 just on manufacturing. But
Disc?
On disc, and they're also saying that
I don't know if this doesn't have a. Disc
yeah,
drive.
you don't even have a disc.
My MacBook Pro is
Yeah.
a $3,000 computer
Yeah.
that does not have a disc.
they're also saying that you will for what was it, $20?
So the lowest tier reward is $10, and for $10 you get a soundtrack CD shipped to you. So these
And that's
guys,
it.
yeah, that's it. For
You don't get the
$10.
game. Oh wow.
But for $20, you get the game shipped to you
On a disc.
On a disc.
on a disc.
And-
And for the $20 level versus the $40 level is just the disc versus the collector's boxed edition. So they've somehow
It's on a Blu-ray disc.
they think they can manufacture console games just on a disc, which I don't think is actually possible.
Yeah, I believe it or not looked into that
Did
very
you?
recently. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's there's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
There's more paperwork than you're immediately privy to by virtue of saying you make games.
They also think that $20 will ship a thing and give them money
We
for
can
making a
thing.
thing.
we can burn PS4 games over there, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Well, all right.
I mean-
maybe they should call you up.
Well, I mean they have to be ours, but yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I see.
yeah, and
I
you
can't
you can't
rip them
digitally sign a game that works on retail kits with that.
Yeah.
That is impossible. So the reason it's and there are other problems too. I mean, like I don't. They're saying there is no digital version of this game. They're not offering a digital version. If you read their FAQ, they have something in there about how like it's 2 hours of HD footage and that's too much space or something.
Yeah.
So these guys obviously like haven't been in games in 20 years, and that's how it comes across. But this is more than just like an ill-advised Kickstarter. It's a problematic Kickstarter, I think.
yeah.
Especially if
that all
it
seems
succeeds.
bad and weird.
Yeah. Well, I think why don't you take it from here because you have a lot of the same thoughts I do.
Oh yeah. Well, just it.
Look at that.
We don't need for Kickstarters to get any worse reputation than they already have.
Yeah.
And people coming out there with absolutely no idea of what to do, getting funded by people with absolutely no idea how games work, is a big problem. And there was another Kickstarter that I don't remember the name of. I think it's called The Next Gen RPG or something,
Oh wow, that sounds like a
Which-
Kickstarter.
which is it's pixel art, but they're doing like crazy lighting stuff with it.
Oh wow.
But the pixel art is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you chose this art. No offense to the guys, but like this is not the art to do some fancy stuff with. And then they, for example, thought that a Wii U and 3DS port will cost $10,000 because
no.
that's super easy to do. And meanwhile, though, cloud saves they think cost $50,000. So. You know, because you gotta call Zeus.
servers.
You gotta call Zeus up on the horn. Be like, Zeus,
it?
we need you to make a new cloud. Yeah, it's called Elysian something. Elysian Shadows.
And they raised all that money.
They've got $125,000,
So it's
almost
not-
$126,000 out of $150,000.
So it's not the Matt Damon film Elysium, and it's
No.
not Dust and Elysian Tale.
That's correct.
Okay, that was a joke.
And this is a game.
well, that's
that-
gonna get funded as heck.
It's going to get funded, and it is a game that they're probably not going to be able to make at the levels that they have discussed.
Well, and here's why Night Trap is problematic. I don't
like
think,
this is a game that's not. This is probably a game that's not going to get finished.
right.
Because $150,000. Like they're like, we're gonna have this huge giant thing. We made a custom in-house engine for 2 years, and now $150,000. I don't know. Anyway, keep going.
Well, the reason Night Trap's problematic is, like you said, if it gets funded, it's a problem because they have all these physical rewards that they are saying they will not sell after the Kickstarter. They're saying it's part of their pitch is that it's limited to only people who back the project. So $330,000, I do not think will cover porting this game to 4 platforms. First of all, I think right there the money's gone if they're hiring a professional developer.
Yeah.
But manufacturing, signing up as a developer as a publisher, I should say, for these things, I think there is a licensing fee for both
Yeah.
Sony and Microsoft for becoming a boxed retail publisher, manufacturing the things, selling to wherever they're fulfilling from, and then sending to, and then fulfilling from there, shipping to the backers.
There also used to be a thing that if you, it may not be the case anymore, but in the 360 days, if you signed on to be an Xbox 360 retail game developer, you had to agree to release 3 games over the course of a certain number of years.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that used to be the case. That was why Atlas in the early days wound up putting out some real weird stuff like Operation Darkness, because
Operation Darkness.
they had one game they really wanted to get out, and then they're like, well, we got to put out 2 more.
And there are minimum order requirements as well.
Yeah.
It's like no research went into this stuff, and if people fund it and then it folds, people are going to be like, yep, Kickstarters told you, they're all terrible. But it's like, these things, you can look at it and you can know. So there should be some kind of policing body out there.
And the real problem,
this is not sustainable.
The real problem is that someone like these guys who didn't do their homework, they don't seem to understand that you got to treat your backers like actual financial backers. You got to show them the business plan. You got to show them how it works, where the money's going, why this will actually happen. Break it down.
Yeah.
Like it feels really old-fashioned and disrespectful to the what Kickstarter has actually accomplished for games.
Well, plus they don't even seem to know what the correct business plan is, because
no.
obviously they don't have it. So
Yeah, I just looked at it for about 10 seconds, and yeah, they seem like a bunch of nubs.
yeah. So
That's
here we
that.
go.
What do you got, Tim?
Oh well, my question here is it is the 96th episode of the show.
Yeah.
I guess we did a 1994 episode last week.
Mm-hmm.
How about 1996?
I liked it.
What are some of your game memories or game mems from 1996? What do you got?
Yes.
What
So-
is your frame this as what was the game of the year 1996?
Okay, 1996, I was not playing video games. So this is
Nice.
yeah. I had a Sega Genesis that I'd had since '92. I probably would tool around with the few games that I had already. So that would be Sonic 2, NBA Jam, and X-Men. Hilariously.
Excellent.
Oh no, I guess I had Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles also by that point, and
Okay,
and maybe NFL '95 or something. But 96, that was my freshman year of high school, and I do not remember playing video games at all in '96. I didn't get a new console until 2002, I think, and that was a Dreamcast at a severe discount. So yeah, '96 was weird for me.
I was working at a Target store and spending a whole bunch of my money. I was in a customer service desk, 17 years old, spending most of my money on video games.
So what were you buying?
Well, what was I buying?
What were you selling?
The real question is, what was I selling? I was selling myself to
Mhm.
Target.
Nice.
So I'm looking at this list, which I looked at earlier today. Heck yeah, there were some games.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts. I know that so there's some games released in '96 that I didn't play in '96 that I really like, and I'll talk about those second. But I believe that I was playing the Jaguar in 1996.
Jaguar?
Yeah, I think I was playing the Jaguar
Jaguar.
in '96 because I defaulted to the cheapest console at any given time. So I got things when they failed. Everybody else had a PlayStation. They were talking about that Resident Evil. I remember all the kids talking about Resident Evil because
That
it
was one of them, yeah.
wicked sick, bro, because that came out in 1996. I remember, I think my first video game conversation overheard from people that I had no idea like who they were was when I was on the bus. I was taking the 40
Nice.
back across from San Rafael to El Cerrito, and these kids were talking about Resident Evil and how there was
Dogs jumping through the
dogs
windows.
jumping through the windows. They did actually talk about the zombie dogs, and that's pretty great. But the games that I really like from that time, you got your Nights into Dreams on the
Nights
Saturn.
into Dreams.
You got
is true.
Panzer Dragoon Zwei, which is, as
Panzer
you
Dragoon Z-Way.
as faithful listeners will know, is one of our favorite things that unfortunately Frank hasn't played yet, but it'll be one of his favorite things once he does. What else? What else was
Panzer
there?
Dragoon Z is one of the perfect video games. Well, I've got a list here. The
Oh, yeah.
original Diablo,
Oh, Diablo.
Donkey Kong Country 3, that's a joke, Tomb Raider, Bubsy 3, Super Mario 64, Nights into Dreams, Quake,
Metal Slug came out.
Metal Slug, Resident Evil, Super Mario RPG,
Man, there's a lot more stuff that came out that I can't think of right now.
Civilization 2, the original Pokemon,
Pokemon.
Daggerfall, which is still my favorite Elder Scrolls game, because I'm a dumb jerk.
Wait, the original Pokemon was 96?
Yep, in the U.S., yeah.
Okay.
I really liked that Legend of Oasis game. That was also 96.
Legend of Oasis.
On that. Yeah, that was a Yuzo Koshiro action RPG. I guess it was mostly his sister that designed it, right?
Yeah.
Usually when it's ancient and it's an actual video game that's made by them, then it's his sis.
That original Tomb Raider was so good. It was a big scale action adventure game with no focus testing. Just a bunch of people making a game, being cool. That's how it all was, man.
Yeah, I feel like of all of my dark years of not playing games, that was maybe the darkest, because 97 was like GoldenEye, right?
Yeah.
And at least in 97 I was taking the bus to Best Buy to play N64 once in a while, but 96 is just, I don't remember anything about it.
Wild Arms came out in Japan in 96.
Yeah.
I like that game.
Wild Arms.
Wild Arms. I really liked that music. Michiru Naruke, something like that. I
Yeah,
forget.
Naruke.
Yeah, that's a good soundtrack. That whistling, man,
You should
that goddamn whistle.
you should play Wild Arms 5 because she did the music to that too.
Ooh,
You
Five
know
Arms.
what? I just remembered the game I played most of in 96.
Five Wild
What's
Arms.
So I went to high school like hilariously close to my grandma's house.
Oh yeah.
And my grandma's house was about 5 doors down from my cousin's house. And my cousin kept a Sega Genesis there.
Yeah.
So after school, I would go there and play his Sega Genesis, even though I had one at home because they had different games. And the game I played most in 1996 was The Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Oh, that's a good one.
And that is why I could at one point actually get to the last guy.
Oh yeah, I remember you played that on the dumpster.
Man, yeah, that's a good one.
No, I played the Super Nintendo one.
Oh, the Super Nintendo one.
No,
Oh,
the
not
Genesis
the Genesis
one.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Genesis
man,
one's
the
great.
Genesis one is
It's a marvel of engineering, is
Yeah.
what it is.
it's an amazingly, no offense, but pretty bad game. That's really interesting.
It's kind of bad. Yeah.
It's really good to look at, though.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's some cool stuff going on.
I also really, really played a lot. Now, most of this, granted, was in 97, but or even later, could have been 98, but it definitely came out in 96, is Dragon Force on the Saturn. I played a
that's,
lot
heck of a
of that
game.
game. I played it, I think I beat it twice, and yeah, I would come home from high school, and I would load that up, and I would play it till my mom got home.
Heck of a game, that one.
Yeah, I really liked tactics games, and I think that was the first one to tell me that I really liked tactics games, even though I had already played Dune 2 on my friend's personal computer. Yeah, I like that Dragon Force. There were a lot of good games in 96. I think 96 for me would have been my top year. Because there was just so much weird stuff going on, so many attempts at things.
Yeah.
People were really trying to figure out what's good in 3D. I mean, Knights was, as I've mentioned before, that was the game that sold me on, okay, maybe 3D is all right. Maybe it's a thing.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of to my earlier question about subverting things. It allowed you to feel like you were subverting the game by when you're the human walking around. Because when you're knights, you're on this rails path, and you're doing Sonic the Hedgehog loops. But then when you're the human, you're very vulnerable. There's a thing that's coming to kill you all the time, but you can walk around in the world, and there's stuff in there that you would not otherwise be able to see. Like, you can walk around in there and find things that, unless you decided to just walk off into nothing, you would never see that stuff. Sega was always great about that.
And that was such a perfect game for that. Because it's such a lucid dream feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that.
Nights into Dreams.
It's a darn good weird game. So I've written up a little tiny list of games that came out in 1996 based on Wikipedia's list and based on what we just discussed. Let's do the fastest ranking possible.
Okay. Panzer Dragoon Spy is obviously at the top.
Panzer Dragoon Spy versus Super Mario 64 would say Panzer Dragoon Spy is at the top.
I would say it's at the top.
Knights versus Super Mario 64.
Mario 64.
Knights.
Mario 64. Sorry. I actually have put it in that order because I knew that I knew Frank would like it better.
Bunch of noobs.
Mario 64 is so good,
It is.
man, and it's so much better than all the games that ever tried to be like it,
Whatever.
including the ones Nintendo made. Knights versus Dragon Force.
Knights.
Dragon Force versus Resident Evil.
Dragon Force.
What do you think?
I haven't played either of them.
Oh, no.
Choose Tim.
I've played both of them 100 times. Dragon Force.
Yeah.
Resident Evil versus Quake.
Quake.
Quake. Okay.
Yeah.
Resident Evil versus Duke Nukem 3D.
Resident Evil.
Okay. Tomb Raider versus Duke Nukem 3D.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Well,
Tom Raider's way better.
Tom Brady.
I don't know why Duke Nukem 3D is right there. Duke Nukem 3D versus Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Okay. Pokemon versus Tomb Raider.
Pokemon.
Pokemon versus Resident Evil.
Pokemon.
Pokemon versus Quake.
Quake.
Oh, nice. Quake has slain Pokemon.
Headshot.
Where was I? Super Mario RPG versus Duke Nukem 3D.
Super Mario RPG.
Super Mario RPG versus Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Super Mario RPG versus Resident Evil.
No, we already Tomb Raider.
Oh, you said Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Super Mario RPG rules. Okay.
Sorry, Super Mario RPG.
Super Mario RPG. Daggerfall versus Duke Nukem 3D.
Daggerfall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Daggerfall versus Super Mario RPG.
Daggerfall again.
Tomb Raider.
Daggerfall.
Resident Evil.
I like the rest of the Resident Evil games more, and this was the start of that, so I say below Resident Evil.
Daggerfall versus Pokemon.
I said below Resident Evil.
Oh, below Resident Evil?
What did you-
And I think I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay. I would have put it above. I would have put it under Pokemon.
We could put it under Pokemon.
Yeah,
if you want.
do it.
Daggerfall's good,
Okay,
man.
all right. I mean, it was a tough call, so do it.
They knew exactly what they were doing, and it's
Keep going.
good. All right. Crash Bandicoot versus Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh man, Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
Okay, Crash Bandicoot versus Super Mario RPG.
Mario RPG.
Mario RPG, yeah.
All right. Oh man, I like Crash Bandicoot.
I like it too, but it's very wobbly.
I think 2 and 3 are better. They're like way
I know
better.
about 3. I like 2 a lot.
2 is definitely better.
Anyway, let's keep going.
3's better, but it's easier. Diablo versus Duke Nukem 3D.
Diablo.
Yeah.
Why did I put Duke Nukem 3D that high on the?
I don't know, man.
I mean, because I was just
you
typing.
gotta do all this free typing.
Okay. Diablo versus Crash Bandicoot.
Diablo.
Diablo versus Super Mario RPG.
Diablo.
Diablo versus Tomb Raider.
Diablo.
Diablo versus Resident Evil.
Di-
Ooh.
I like Resident Evil better, but I think, man, Diablo. I like loot, man.
Diablo's hard, tight,
I know.
fast.
And you can
Diablo.
you can make a string of ears. Okay.
All right. Diablo versus Daggerfall, the real fight.
Daggerfall.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm good with that too because
All
Think-
right.
Yeah.
Daggerfall is pretty innovative for its open worldiness.
yeah.
All
I
right.
agree.
Wild Arms versus Crash Bandicoot.
Wild Arms.
Wild Arms versus Super Mario RPG.
I like Wild Arms better, but I don't know if anyone else is gonna agree with that.
What do you think, Frank? Have you
I've
played either? of
got
them?
no horse in this race.
What do you say?
Wild Arms has cool music with whistling in it,
Yeah.
and Super Mario RPG has really obnoxious music that I think is hilarious. It's got Mario.
Whoops. Whoa.
I'm gonna
I
put
got
Wild
right
Arms
off
up
key.
there. Wild
Okay.
Arms versus Tomb Raider.
I'd rather play Wild Arms right now. So.
What would you rather play right now, Frank?
Tomb Raider.
Okay. Tim.
I'm gonna put it under Tomb Raider.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And
And finally, Bubsy 3D. Better or worse than Duke Nukem 3D?
It's worse.
It is worse.
But it's hilarious.
It is hilarious, but let's put
I
it
would
on the
rather
list.
play Bubsy 3.
I'm glad it's on the
You would
list.
rather play Bubsy 3D?
But it's
Because
worse.
guess what? The Fun Dumpster might be able to make that happen,
Let's do it.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've never played it.
All right,
do it.
but Bubsy 3D can be last.
Are we gonna make it last?
We can make it second to last.
Because Duke Nukem 3D is dumb, and
I would rather play Bubsy 3D right now.
Yeah, me too. Let's
So-
put it on there.
Fine. Good.
All right, we did it. So our final list: best games in 1996. Number 1, Panzer Dragoon Vi. Number 2, Super Mario 64. Number 3, Knights. Number 4, Dragon Force. Number 5, Quake. Number 6, Pokemon. Number 7, Daggerfall. Number 8, Diablo. Number 9, Resident Evil. Number 10, Tom Raider. Number 11, Wild Arms. Number 12, Super Mario or PG. Number 13, Crash Bandicoot. Number 14, Bubsy 3D. Number 4, Duke Nukem 3D.
Number 15 is what you meant.
Number 25.
So there we go. All
Number
right, we
15.
did it.
There you go.
We did
Excellent.
it.
All right.
Nice. How much time we got?
So
How are we looking?
We've got 5 minutes left.
Should
Okay, so we have any more evergreen stuff?
We had the
we gotta
the
do-
weekly best of shuffle where we're organizing the Wikipedia.
Okay, let's do it.
And
Okay.
we also got IQ. Or are we gonna skip it this week?
Skip what? Oh, the
IQ
IQ test question. Oh man,
I've got one.
I've got one too.
You want to do it, and then we can do that shuffle real fast. like
Oh, the
that.
shuffle is the easy part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
It's
do the
format.
IQ
And also,
test.
we just did a show.
Let's do the.
All right,
IQ.
you want to do the? Yeah, we did the ultimate shuffle.
Yeah, let's do the IQ question.
Okay.
All right,
Yours or mine?
you go for it. Mine
Okay.
Mine is terrible.
All right, mine's
Well, it's great.
Mine's also terrible.
All right.
Here is a question that is based on.
Oh, I guess I should say that every week, in the interest of game showishness, we are going to try to have a question that is kind of adopts a format from an IQ test, where you're given a criteria and asked to make a list, and the more items you can come up with, the higher an IQ percentile it places you in. So this is the insert credit IQ test question. Last time was games that have a single word title, the word being an adjective.
Yep.
And games such as wet and
Rage. No, rage doesn't work.
rage isn't an adjective.
No,
Someone in the comments mentioned
Savage was
mentioned
our,
Savage was the
that was the
lead-in.
prompt.
Oh, I
Yeah.
had that good one, which was awesome.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah. And then someone in the comments mentioned dishonored, which I want to disqualify because that's a passive voice
Yeah, I agree.
word. But there were a couple more that I don't
Whatever.
know. But
Let's
yeah,
move on.
we'll
Oh man!
go through those.
So I'm
later.
I'm not sure that mine actually fits the criteria perfectly because I didn't understand
Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I mean, like until almost kind of recently, like the mid '90s maybe. I think Nintendo farmed most of its development out.
Yeah.
So, we have some sense for which games were Tosei games. We have knowledge of the contract house that did a lot of the early arcade games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same, and this is talking about common threads and stuff.
Yeah.
You can see some common threads through like Donkey Kong Jr., and then all the way up to Super Mario Brothers. Like the springs in Donkey Kong Jr. are in Super Mario Brothers. It's the same trademark spring from whoever that contract development house was that did all that. That's still being used by Nintendo, bizarrely.
Yeah. We also don't really know who did most of the LCD games that exist.
Sure.
I don't think
that's very true. There's no documentation for that.
Yeah, so that's we're not going to count that on our list here. But I guess if I recap the list of games that we've been able to think of that we don't know the developers of, we got Bonk's Revenge.
Yep.
We got
Pac-Man 2.
Pac-Man 2.
I mean, we kind of know the Sunsoft 8-bit team, but like not really.
But not really. There was the Tasmania Composer.
Yeah.
It's very important.
We gotta figure that out.
And then there's all of LCD games. So I guess that's what we did.
That's all. There's a lot of mysteries. There's a lot of games that.
There's so much mystery out there.
I mean, we're talking about well-known stuff.
Yeah.
But like, for the NES, for the most part, I have some sense of who did it. Like if it's a game that's actually interesting, but. I guess I look at unreleased games a lot, and I don't know who did Bioforce Ape at all.
Well, it's crazy to think that we don't know who made Bonk's Revenge when that was like the mascot of the console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super weird. So should we move on to our ranking?
All right. Yeah. So this is our final thing that we're going to do today. Every week we're going to try to. I've been looking at a list of Wikipedia's best games that have been called the best.
Right.
And so every week I think I'm going to pick 5 of those games, and we put them in order, and then we put them in order. We put them in order by themselves, and we put them in order with the games we have previously ranked. It's a stupid, weird, hilarious thing for us to do. So this week's 5 games, I'm going to start with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Somebody called that game the best. So
okay.
That's weird. And we're going to put that against StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to put StarCraft 2 right there. What about Left 4 Dead? Is that better or worse than StarCraft 2?
I like it better.
I like it better also.
Man,
I
like it better
because you're going to
it's...
disagree.
Well, no, I disagree, but I sort of don't because it's still pretty fun,
Yeah.
It's a fun goddamn game. I mean, you're just having fun hanging out.
It's a more approachable sport.
It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game for grown-ups in the 21st century.
Definitely.
Is it so? It's better than StarCraft 2?
Yes.
Yeah, I played that in a room with 4 people on 4 screens, and everybody's just screaming at each other.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I guess that kind of fits our sort of deal more.
Yeah.
What about Team Fortress 2?
I like StarCraft 2 more.
I also agree with that.
I like StarCraft 2 more. I like Team Fortress 2 more, but...
Team Fortress Tumor.
Team Fortress 2 more.
I just hate hats. No, I'm okay with hats.
The hats is the thing. No, the hats is not really the thing. Now, Resident Evil 4.
So this is going to be difficult because I like that game a lot, and I don't think that you do, Tim.
I actually don't like it at all.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's going to be the big difference there.
I think it's not 1/10 as good as people think it is.
It is probably at the top of the list for me.
I would only put it below Left 4 Dead.
I'll concede to that.
I'd put it. I'd put it above the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but right at the bottom near there.
Well, it's 2/3.
But I guess we'll put it down here.
What's between? It's between what and Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead, Resident Evil 4, StarCraft 2, Team Fortress 2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so now we have to mesh this list into our previous list, which is Counter-Strike, Red Dead Redemption, Final Fantasy VI, Mega Man Legends 2, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Okay.
So is Left 4 Dead 2 better than Grand Theft Auto
Yes.
4? Is it better than Mega Man 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it better than Final Fantasy 6?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay. Is it better than Red Dead Redemption?
I like it more.
I don't like it more.
Tim?
I kind of like something that's got kind of a plot and a feeling to it.
All right.
Which I guess Left 4 Dead does.
It does.
All right.
It's got a bigger plot and feeling for me personally.
Well, that's where that ended up.
Yep.
Resident Evil 4, is that better than Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it better than Mega Man 2?
Yes.
Is it better than Final
Right.
Fantasy?
This is where I don't know. I don't know that it's better than Mega Man 2.
Well, you got to make a decision because I'm sure
gonna
that
say it's not.
Tim will stop wherever you want to stop the
I think
wheel.
Mega Man 2 is better. I mean, I actually legitimately think I don't have a vendetta against Resident Evil 4.
You hate it.
I just don't like.
I legit think Mega Man 2 is better.
All right.
Yeah, me too. Resident Evil 4. StarCraft 2. Is that better than Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yes.
Okay. Is it
That's
better
it.
than Resident Evil 4? It's not.
No.
We already
Yeah,
decided
we already
that.
did that. So
That's
the
how
rest
this
of the
makes it
list,
easy.
the rest of the list is all
Just we're ranking it in
Let's see if
comparison.
any
to
of these are better than Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah, we're
What's that?
comparing it to Grand Theft Auto 4. Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
yes.
Game rules.
And
All right, and-
KOTOR, no.
Yeah.
KOTOR, no. There we go.
right.
So our current list of the best games of all time, as indicated on Wikipedia, says tabulated on Wikipedia's best games of all time, or games that have been called the best, is the name of the list. Our current list is Counter-Strike, Red Dead Redemption, Left 4 Dead, Final Fantasy VI, Mega Man 2, Resident Evil 4, StarCraft 2, Team Fortress, Grand Theft Auto 4, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
I do like that we currently have the top 3 games are the first in their series.
Yeah.
I personally kind of enjoy that.
And
That's
Left
true.
4 Dead is the sequel to Left 3 Dead.
Oh, that's true.
Nice joke.
That's true. Nice gets.
I believe that's the end of the show then,
That's
that
the
particular
end.
joke.
That's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you were watching live, we did record the audio for the whole thing, so look at where should they look? InsertCredit.com.
InsertCredit.com. It'll be up there, and you
will
can
see where it is.
You can follow us on the Insert Credit Facebook, which I believe we forgot to update before we started this today.
Well, that's
okay.
straight too bad.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
Facebook.com/IC
IC
Podcast.
and then follow us on Twitter if you feel like it. You ought to be able to find us. And with that, I'm Brandon Sheffield,
I'm Frank Spaldi.
I'm Tim Rogers.
and now you're playing with our show.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
live
man.
viewers, we're going to actually switch over
Yeah,
to Twitch.
Switch over.
We're gonna
So-
We're gonna twitch over to Switch.
So it's twitch.tv/ what is it?
Insert Credit Show.
Twitch.tv/insert credit show, where we're gonna play a video game together, and also with you.
Together, and also with you.
I had something called Do Not Disturb on my phone. I don't even know what that is.
And I'm
That's
going
interesting.
to join the urinarian. So here's the question: who should play?
I can beat it, if that's the goal.
I don't think I can beat it. I think I might be a noob. I'd like to play it a little bit. Maybe we should pass it around.
Yeah, sure.
You can pass it right around, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'm exporting that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off this stream.
All right, everybody. Twitch.tv/ what? Insert credit show.
Credit show. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna tweet that also.
Okay. We're gonna tweet that. Yeah, just remember this podcast should be available for listening pretty soon. If you want to hear the part that happened while I was getting the connection back. I had to reboot my routers 3 or 4 times each. I can leave this on for a minute.
Sure.
Why the heck not? Just hanging out over here. Put some text.
All right. So if they go there right now, is there a stream starting soon sort of thing?
It's Twitch. It's just there's always something that's like you just hang out there, it pops up.
Okay.
Hang on, toolbox. Oh God. Just do it. Lord in heaven. Can I put There you go. Look at that. Says it's
What
our
if-
URL and everything.
Oh yeah.
People can see that, and that's it. All right. It's going to take a little bit of time to set this up. You can't just sign in and do it. I got to get a whole bunch of crap out of
Okay. Are we agreed on the game? We're solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonic Knuckles. Also, we should agree on. Well, do we want to finish it or do we want to try to set a time limit?
I can finish it. Like straight through, pretty much.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. I'm looking at all this.
Twitch stream.
I've got it here.
I gotta get us a little icon, but my computer kept freezing when I tried to do that.
Let's. I'm gonna do a bunch of crap to get it connected.
Do I got water in here? Yeah.
Yeah, darn it. Having to manage multiple ones of these at a time means I have to have a whole bunch of things popped in.
Sorry for all the things.
Yeah, Twitch is so infuriatingly bad.
Twitching.
It's just a pretty bad thing. Channel videos. Inappropriate for younger audiences.
That's us.
Yeah.
Actions.
One of us should post this on the Facebook.
Okay.
Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you
I've
should.
connected
That's
my
good.
Twitter to it. You can all connect your Twitters to it if you like.
Oh yeah, let's.
Why we do that?
Can we have multiples on there?
So. Wait, no, you can't.
Oh.
That's terrible. Hitbox lets you connect. Oh, we're still streaming, by the way. Where did
Hi guys.
the thing go?
Witching.
I had a thing on there.
Oh, a thing that said.
Yeah, that said we're done. Why did it disappear? What? What? Why did it do that?
That's too bad.
I mean, that's like extremely weird that it just disappeared. There it is. All right. See if it disappears again while I'm over here.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So they move a whole bunch of crap on here that I need to get. Prevent embedding. Don't allow people to prevent YouTube exporting. Don't allow users to export your videos. We don't have Turbo.
Sonic and Knuckles.
How do I post on there?
You guys.
Edit page? More?
No, there's. Go back.
Oh, here we go.
It's that.
Let's see if it disappeared. That's still on there now. That's good. Maybe test it.
Hooray.
I'm gonna check out streaming games. Yeah, that's a pretty bad website. It's
Yeah.
kind of held together with duct tape.
Well, they kind of bought that just in TV, and then built a thing sort of on top of it ish, and then kind of bought him out, and then Google bought it, and now nobody knows what to do. Yeah, I want to put a little photo in there. We can do that later.
I'm totally bad at words filter.
So I picked an interesting time to start talking to Zoe Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Like I hung out with her about 2 days before all that happened.
Yeah, that's rough. She's a cool human.
Yeah.
Too bad about all those noobs. Dog, dog, dog.
Hi.
I got to pet that neighborhood dog before we left. Frog.
Which one?
Frog.
That dog over there just
Which
barks
one's
all
Frog?
goddamn day.
2 doors down from you, or 1 rather. It's a black dog.
Oh, that
White
one.
muzzle.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's old.
I like him because he's a dog.
This person's insane.
He likes lumbering.
Wow.
He's a good guy. I was giving them some pats and they laid his head on my foot. I'm like, you're a cool guy.
Yeah.
Rush.
Fresh on rule.
Dogs, 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 dogs.
They move everything around on this website every time they rip everybody off. It's just like every other day. They got a help topic in the forum.
So what's the problem?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
It's just a stupid thing.
Need stream key.
Yeah. You
Oh
can
my
go
God.
looking for your stream key. You can find it on your dashboard. I was there.
There are. Cliff Blazinski just retweeted this
What?
thing. It says some game developers are so creative. It's like 30
Wow.
or 40 copter thingy clones already, swing copter clones.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
People get it on accident.
How is that a real thing?
Making the argument that they're not creative is kind of missing the point. I don't think they think they're creative.
No. But it's still not so great.
No, it's terrible.
Not that so great. Man, I gotta like change everything between all the different things every time. I had it set up so I could sit down and just plunk it out, but now it's like I gotta actually.
Sit it down, plunk it out.
I guess I don't have time to.
The Twitch screen's gonna move you when you're something thing.
Grab your lock-on card.
And a Sonic Knuckles thing. Dang it. I was gonna try to get Sonic 3 in there somehow, but I just
D-pad's gonna move.
Yeah. Dag nabbit. The taste.
I think this one's my favorite.
Yeah, the swing copters, it's just a lady with giant boobs. Doesn't have a different name. How do they all have the same name as well? How is that
Well,
allowed?
this is Android
Yeah.
Store.
Android, right. Yes, of course. Good old Android.
Windows Store is even worse.
Do it.
You go to the top game is Pac-Man.
That's good.
Ooh, great.
Woo!
That's a so nice.
That's a so alright. That's a so bright, is what it is.
Well.
I will.
It's,
Yeah, I don't plan on dying.
It's popping up. Alright, that's all should work. Okay.
Audio. I'm just gonna put these back on.
Dashboard. Oh, who cares? You have to watch an ad on your own channel.
I
They
think
now make you watch 3 ads sometimes.
as terrible as it is, I do have ad block, so I guess I don't see that. Or do I? I guess I haven't streamed for
I think
a little
it's
while. It might be.
it's the ampersand instead of an.
What is it?
Or
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna type it in.
Yeah, you gotta type more than that.
There's a lot of names. Yeah, it's up. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna do a test of this.
What's up, Greg Mercer?
Greggle's already there.
Got 11 viewers already, it looks like.
Oh yeah, now it's 11 now.
Oh, I was looking at the 6, and that's a heart. I don't know where we got 11.
The 6 is how many people have subscribed or whatever.
So, you got that emulator?
Oh, I got it. Just making sure we look okay. I got people in that. People can have the YouTube and this open at the same time. So that they know that.
Oh man, don't do that, guys.
So that they know when we're getting ready. Everybody, we're almost there.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Oh, are you serious? Didn't I just mute that? God.
Wow.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Twitch and GameStop, power to the players. Hey, good job, guys. Alright, let's gonna do a test.
Na St. Jude.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we got Genesis in here.
Say Genesis.
One.
Okay, well, not that. You want K. Oh, Kega, yeah.
Yeah.
Kega the folder.
Yeah, this is-
There's.
That's not a good symbol.
That's fine.
Oh, it is.
Right click.
File.
Yeah.
Load.
Yeah, load Genesis.
Why not the master system? That's a joke.
Okay, I'm gonna make a tweet
It's in there.
for when we actually start.
Let's just type. Sonic and Knuckles, JUE exclamation point.
None of those. The final one there.
Is this one?
Next one down.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
That's the one.
Alright. Let's do that. And let me pop over a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Nice. Okay. Stream. Broken tech. Bear with me for a second. Oh, how broken is that?
That's pretty broken.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's actually broken or.
Right.
Hold on.
Would they see? Oh, have
Oh,
we-
it's not. We're not on there yet.
Okay.
I have to stop the Google in order to start the
Okay.
Twitch. Oh, we actually can't get 60 FPS. I have to turn that down. Hitbox lets you get 60 FPS. We streamed Zelda Link to the Past in 60 FPS the other night. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It ran 1080p, 60 FPS, all nice. Pretty sweet.
So Hitbox the new jam, huh?
Yeah, Hitbox is cool, but there's about as much wrong with it as there is with Twitch.
Okay.
And also, it's kind of busted. Missing a bunch of crap.
Should we start streaming it to see if it works? Since
So
we can't tell.
it looks, well, no, because we should be able to see something now.
Yep.
I guess I have to mess with all my video settings again. You guys can keep talking to the audience.
Yeah, we are.
They're chatting.
Can't really see him.
Someone
though.
said I look like a person who I've never heard of.
Oh yeah, we got the Twitch chat going there.
Yep, Richie Edwards, whoever that is. I think I look more like a dinosaur. Well, pretty soon we're going to be streaming a thing, everybody. Just
Possibly.
hold on to your bits. I don't know if we're even.
Optimized for you.
I don't think we're actually. I don't think they can hear us.
They can if they're still on Google.
They can hear
Oh,
us.
yeah,
This Google right here.
If they're on the Google.
We got 10 followers already.
We still got 22 people. Man, is anyone going to be watching both of these at the same time?
Oh, we're gonna shut
We're
Google
turn
off.
Yeah,
Well,
good.
We can't do both of them at once. Well, I gotta
We should
reduce
check-
my audio bit rate to 160.
Should check the YouTube and see if there was anything on there that anybody said.
That's so hard.
I know. I want to save this tweet because I already wrote it, so I'll save it as a draft.
Recommended X264 encoding profile for me. Can you just automatically make me do it?
Achoo. Alright, let's see.
Disgusting sound.
see what, if anything, it says on here.
What are the comments?
If anybody's got any words.
What are the comments?
Yeah, how do you even find comments on your phone?
Wow.
We're gonna shut Google off.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
I see it. Okay, I see the comments. Connection just died. Connection just died.
Oh, here we go. Comments. Wow. It's past the recommended videos. That's great.
Yeah.
Game ranking segments are kind of boring. Can you spice them up with some Rochambeau or something?
No.
Shut up, Brian Kent.
We do need a chat room for the live show. I don't really know where that's going to be.
Okay.
What else do we got?
Nothing really worth talking about here.
That's fine.
Jason McCreary's hair is beautiful, though.
And says, hi, y'all.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
Well, I'll save my other question for next time. I got another question. I'll put it into our evergreen.
Ooh.
Chili dog references. We're not going to talk about chili dogs. Oh, you're on there saying hi.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
Game capture.
Tell them we're starting soon since you happen to be on it.
Okay.
Is this gonna work? Let's see. It's gonna take another 5 to 20 years. Love that sound.
A chim 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 chim. It's me, Sonic Knuckles. I'm that guy now.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. We might need to use a different emulator.
Oh, man, the sound is only good on this one.
Uh-oh.
We can try a different one.
What if you do not full screen?
I mean, we can do that. Let's see if it's the emulator that's causing the problem. Sonic Knuckles exclamation point. Oh no, it's actually.
Oh, the sound. I can't do it.
We're just gonna see if it works. It works, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's
We're gonna find out about that in a moment. Ooh.
And
yeah, that's true.
Game owns.
yeah.
You can just try streaming while we figure it out, and I can watch it to see what it looks like.
Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's still tiny. Oh, it's hard.
Well, try Kega that way, see if it worked.
Yeah, we'll try that. Yeah.
Cool game.
This game rules. God, this thing was so slow. What the heck is wrong with it?
I guess we would have been seeing it already, right? We would have seen the static.
We'd see something.
Yeah.
But it's actually not. Oh, God. Reload is terrible. Yeah, it should be showing something.
Someone just said something that I didn't really even know about. Probably should have. Chris Doucette said it was regarding all of those Swingcopter clones. He said, it being Google Play, I'm sure plenty of those aren't actually games. Spam website launchers. No dev time needed. That's terrible, if that's a thing. Choom.
I hate the Windows sounds, man.
Yeah, I got them all turned off.
They're disgusting. I try to turn them off, but I can't even get them. So. Let's try this.
My mom has the one where, like, when you open or close a window,
What is
it
this?
goes, and I hate it.
Why is it doing this?
Ooh.
Why does it have a big old black bar around everything? That's
Weird.
it's insane. Because it's taking the wrong monitor? Or you want to tell me what my monitor numbers are, huh? Windows says this. You dumb jerk.
Okay, it works.
God, that took goddamn forever.
Sonic and the Knuckles. Oh no!
It worked in a manner of speaking. There's still about 3 more insane things I have to do. So, we have determined through science that 37 is about the best
Okay.
for streaming.
I do like science.
We got that. All right, everybody. I'm going to turn the Google off, and this thing's going to turn on.
Everybody go to Twitch.
So, if you're already here, which you're not, we'll see what happens. Everybody get ready. It's taking goddamn forever, but we're going to do it. I'm going to stop the preview, and I'm going to check my audio settings one more time. Because we can't change them once the stream starts.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on.
All right.
We have about 45 seconds to 6 minutes before this starts. So they can't hear us yet. I'm going to do this.
Wait, you just joined it.